10 deadly natural disasters caught on video. Tsunami wave, Japan. Japan is still recovering from the impact of the savage, devastating tsunami that ravaged the northeastern part of the country in March of 2011 following a magnitude 9 earthquake. The tsunami, whose waves reached heights of up to 128 feet and traveled as far as 6 miles inland, resulted in approximately 16,000 deaths, mostly due to drowning, and about $300 billion in damages between the earthquake and the tsunami. In the aftermath, the Japanese government introduced a new tsunami warning system after their present one had underestimated the size of the blast. Fire tornado. Yes, fire tornadoes or fire whirls are a real, albeit rare, thing. They occur when hot, dry air rises rapidly out of the ground, thus forming vertical columns or chimneys before thinning out, cooling, and dissipating at higher altitudes. Although these whirls often come and go fairly quickly, they can do some serious damage, with temperatures within the vortex getting as high as 2,000 degrees. Their quick movement also creates a powerful, unpredictable, and largely unstoppable force of nature. Volcanic eruption, Papua New Guinea. It's an undeniably spectacular sight to see fiery lava spewing out of a daunting, impressive volcano. But the mesmerizing nature of the spectacle doesn't take away from the considerable damage that can be caused by a volcanic eruption. These explosive eruptions can alter the land and water for a vast expanse around a volcano and can create millions of tiny liquid droplets of sulfuric acid, with the potential to temporarily change the Earth's climate. The resulting ash clouds in the aftermath of an eruption can also be damaging to the air quality surrounding nearby communities. Hurricane Katrina. It's tough to recall a more destructive natural disaster within American borders than Hurricane Katrina touching down in New Orleans in 2005. The largest and third strongest hurricane ever recorded to make landfall on U.S. soil, Katrina reached Category 5 hurricane status with winds up to 175 miles per hour. It affected an estimated 15 million people, including 1,836 deaths, with the majority of those deaths being senior citizens unable to evacuate. The hurricane also left approximately 80% of New Orleans submerged in water, thanks to a storm surge resulting in waves that grew to 20 feet in height. Meteor attack, Russia. The meteor attack that hit the Chelyabinsk region in Russia on February 15, 2013 looked like something out of this world, and in a way, it was. Indeed, the 10-ton meteor, which entered the Earth's atmosphere at 15 to 20 kilometers per second, was a truly frightening sight. Once it hit, the meteor produced a bright flash of light intense enough to illuminate the sky and created a shockwave that set off car alarms and startled pets in a wide vicinity. While the meteor caused 1,200 injuries and resulted in millions in damages, there were miraculously no deaths reported. Typhoon Haiyan, Philippines. One of the strongest tropical cyclones in history hits parts of Southeast Asia, particularly the Philippines, in early November 2013. The massive typhoon, which reached speeds of up to 195 miles per hour, claimed over 6,300 lives in what was the deadliest natural disaster in the region in recorded history. Because it encountered very warm water temperatures along its path, it did not slow down immediately and thus was able to cause greater destruction than had it faded out quickly. Volcanic eruption, Mount Ontake. In the midst of Japan's peak hiking season in 2014, Mount Ontake presented the country's first fatal volcanic eruption in 23 years. With no significant earthquakes occurring prior to the eruption, there was little warning that prompted authorities to anticipate such an event, or that gave hikers near Mount Ontake's 10,000-foot summit cause for concern. Emergency helicopters managed to rescue the majority of the estimated 250 hikers climbing at the time, but even they couldn't prevent the 57 fatalities, as some wound up buried in ash. 2010 Haiti earthquake. The catastrophic 7.0 earthquake that struck Haiti on January 12, 2010 demonstrated both the sheer ferocity of Mother Nature and the inherent goodness of humankind. The deadly quake claimed approximately 160,000 victims and forced thousands upon thousands from their home in the impoverished nation. However, the aftermath saw relief efforts come rolling in from all across the globe as countries offered up funds and supplies while volunteers stepped up to aid in rescue efforts and medical support. Tsunami, Indian Ocean. One of the deadliest natural disasters in recorded history, the Indian Ocean tsunami hit on Boxing Day of 2004 at a time when many families were enjoying an exotic holiday vacation getaway. Thus, many amateur videos depicting the carnage of the tsunami wound up establishing the stark contrast between their idyllic surroundings and the horror that was manifesting itself off in the distance. Here you see terror reign as buildings are submerged, trees collapse, and the carefree enjoyment of a tropical vacation quickly turns to panic and fear. Earthquake, Nepal. Geophysicists and other experts had warned for decades that Nepal was highly vulnerable to a deadly earthquake, but it was still difficult to anticipate the destruction caused by magnitude 7.8 natural disaster known as the Gorkha earthquake. With aid pouring in from all over the globe, the region is still trying to recover from the massive blast that killed 8,000 and injured 18,000. Aid efforts were hindered when another deadly earthquake struck the area 17 days later, resulting in 200 deaths, 2,500 injuries, and tons of food, supplies, and other supports that failed to get delivered to some of the hundreds of thousands of displaced Nepali residents.